Dum, 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 dum. Who's arriving?
Dum, 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 dum.
Who could it be?
Dum, 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 dum. See, welcome back, friends. Today, we're learning from...
Well, it's Ram Dass speaking, but he's talking about his guru. Because we've been listening to a lot of Ram Dass. You're reading a book on Ram Dass, and he talks a lot about his guru, and we just need to react to his story.
We've heard a lot of stories about this man, but
Yeah.
we haven't watched just the story from Ram Dass about this guy.
Yeah.
His name's Mahuraji, I think.
Mahuraji, yeah.
Mahuraji. But
Yeah.
sounds like he's influenced a whole lot of people
Yes.
as a spiritual teacher. So
Real low key, though.
real low key.
Real behind the scenes type.
Let's
Okay.
hear what he's got.
I want to read you this one story from this book called Miracle of Love, which is 1,000 stories about Neem Karoli Baba, who is my guru. It's an excellent book, and you should all get it. I wrote it. Just to give you a little flavor of the kind of fun of the game of being with somebody you can't figure out. His name...
I just want to pause the video so we can laugh for a second.
Yeah.
It's like Ram Dass, Alan Watts, Terrence McKenna sometimes.
Yeah.
These are like these spiritual guys who have all experienced a variety of different things, but their way of speaking they are so witty,
So witty.
so quick.
It's just so easy to listen to and fun and
Yeah.
lighthearted, and I always get quite happy when I listen to Ram Dass.
So let's listen to this
Let's
story.
listen to this story.
My wife had met Mahuraji and come to get me in America and bring me back to meet him. When we first went to see Mahuraji, I was put off by what I saw. All these crazy Westerners wearing white clothes and hanging around this fat old man in a blanket. More than anything else, I hated seeing Westerners touch his feet. On my first day there, he totally ignored me. But after the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh days, during which he also ignored me, I began to grow very upset. I felt no love for him. In fact, I felt nothing. I decided that my wife had been captured by some crazy cult. By the end of the week, I was ready to leave. We were staying up at the hotel in Nainital, and on the 8th day, I told my wife I wasn't feeling well. I spent the day walking around the lake, thinking that if my wife was so involved in something that was clearly not for me, it must mean that our marriage was at an end.
This alone shows kind of the genius of whatever this guy's doing, Mahuraji. Because he's just... It seems like, from what I've experienced, that everything this person does is very, very purposeful. Like,
Yeah.
ignores this guy, very purposeful. And look at all the things that are happening just up here
In
with
his
him.
head,
And it's just
yeah.
like running faster. And it's almost
He's like, my wife must not love me.
Yeah,
Or
like-
we're not meant to be together.
But sometimes you need to reach that breaking point, because you can always be at this certain speed of thoughts and, your crazy thoughts. And if you're just at that certain speed, you could just keep going, and it's like you get used to it. But if it keeps ramping up, and you reach a pinnacle, that's like the breaking point, and then it always feels better afterwards. So,
And only from a breaking point do you find that new perspective, because you're like, my old perspective isn't working.
yeah.
This is driving me
The
crazy.
contrary, it's driving me crazy. Yeah. Oh, good.
Love it.
Good.
Yes.
I love how these stories will just like take you on a ride, and then wham! Right at the end, I'm telling you, right at the end, there's going to be some like big old thing that happens.
Actions in the lake, but nothing could dispel my depression. And then I did something I'd really never done in my adult life. I prayed. I asked God, what am I doing here? Who is this man? These people are all crazy. I don't belong here. Just then I remembered the phrase, "Had ye but faith, ye would not need miracles." Okay, God, I don't have any faith. Send me a miracle. I kept looking for a rainbow, but nothing happened. So I decided to leave the next day. The next morning, we took a taxi down to Kenchi to the temple. It's about 8 miles away, to say goodbye. Although I didn't like Mahuraji, I thought I'd just be very honest and have it out with him. We got to Kenchi before anyone else was there, and we sat in front of his tucket, his wooden bed on the porch. Mahuraji had not yet come out from inside the room. There was some fruit on the tucket, and one of the apples had fallen on the ground, so I bent over to pick it up. Just then, Mahuraji came out of his room and stepped on my hand, pinning me to the ground. So there I was, on my knees, touching his foot. In that position, I detested. How ludicrous. He looked down at me and asked, "Where were you yesterday? Were you at the lake?" He said the word lake in English. When he said the word lake to me, I began to get this strange feeling at the base of my spine. My whole body tingled. It felt very strange. "What were you doing at the lake?" I began to feel very tight. "Were you horseback riding?" "No."
Oh my god.
Gotta pause this before we... Like, also the way that Mahuraji will, from the other stories I've heard, he'll build in the way he's questioning you, much like a Zen Buddhist master in koans and such things, where they'll ask like 3 questions that don't seem to do with anything, just to, like, open you up and get you into a position where now there's like the checkmate that can be played.
Oh my gosh.
But how about the fact that this guy wakes up every morning and probably has people on his doorstep, like, a lot of the time? That you are that much, like, in service.
Yeah.
That you leave your sleeping quarters and there are people waiting for you.
Whew. That's crazy. Also, how, based on all the stories that I've heard, definitely purposeful that he stepped on his foot right at that moment. Like, that's...
Just touching his feet, and the guy's like...
Just, okay, I'm really excited to see where this goes in 1 minute. What's going to happen in this next minute?
"Were you boating?" "No." "Did you go swimming?" "No." Then he leaned over and he spoke very quietly. "Were you talking to God? Did you ask for something?" When he did that, I fell apart and started to cry like a baby. He pulled me over and started pulling my beard, repeating, "Did you ask for something? Did you ask for something?" That really felt like my initiation. By then, others had arrived, and they were around me, caressing me, and I realized then that almost everyone there had gone through some experience like that. A trivial question such as, "Were you at the lake yesterday?" which had no meaning to anyone else, shattered my perception of reality. After that, I just wanted to rub his feet.
Dude. What? Wow.
The other day, you had a dream.
Yeah.
Of seeing one of our friends that we hadn't seen in a very long time.
Yeah. One of our closest friends. Yeah.
And we have this ongoing joke with him that he shows up, whenever he wants, just walks in, says hello, and we haven't seen him for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And he's just randomly there.
Yeah.
On that day that Mitch has this dream, he just shows up.
And in the dream, I was at a friend's house and I see him walk around the corner, and for some reason I crumple down I can't stand anymore, and I start sobbing.
And then our friend gets here and says, yeah, I'm moving out west for some time.
Yeah.
And it's like, those types of things happen frequently with dream world type stuff.
Yeah.
But then you hear about someone and just so many, I'm sure that entire book is filled with stories.
Just like that one.
Similar like that. And I'm sure with a sad guru type character, a Jesus Christ type character, I'm sure everyone had these similar types of stories.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what the heck is going on?
That's what it does. It just leaves you kind of speechless, because all the constructs of what you thought reality was, they're just going like this, they're going like that, they're just completely bending, twisting in whatever way, because they're able to. And you're just told your whole life that none of that's possible.
It's like in movies, reading someone's mind or knowing where someone was.
It's like we talk about how going on the spiritual path is like becoming more and more of like, you're seeing the magic, you're being the magic, you're becoming more of like
more childish
witch,
again.
a wizard, more childish. But this is like, that's some actual wizardry. That's some actual mind reading, whatever is going on there, wizardry, understanding of your, like, not just understanding your connection to everything else. It's like being your connection so deeply that you are everywhere all at once somehow on some plane.
Or you're somehow able to like read their energy when they approach you, and you know where their energy was.
Yeah,
like, physically know where they were yesterday.
See, like, even we're trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
There's no figuring this out. Yeah. Like, there's just sitting in it in kind of awe.
I guess in this one, you could try to be like, oh, his wife might have told Mahuraji. But there's also stories like Ram Dass has a story of he was thinking about his grandmother who had passed away. And a very similar thing happened, but he hadn't told anyone that he was thinking about his grandmother who passed away. And then had a similar moment with this guy where he was like, this is weird. But then he talked about his grandmother, who he had literally just been thinking about, hadn't said a thing to anyone. And then it's like,
no, there's enough stories that I've heard about this man that I just don't question it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of in full acceptance.
Yeah.
And awe. Just awe of
what and also stuff like that happens with dreams and us. And it's like, but that is such a
so cool. It's so cool. It's just absolutely amazing.
Have you guys had experiences like that? Because that would be cool to hear. That would be
really cool to hear. In the comments.
In the comments below. Anyway, that was a fun one.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Much love.
Much love.